So firstly, if we pass over to Ben Davis from Mirror Fighting, please. Ben, you've got 2 questions here.
Hi, Conor. So this is your first fight camp with the fans back as well. How will you use this to your advantage, do you think?
Makes no difference. Crowd, no crowd. Eddie's back garden or not. A fight's a fight.
So second question, have you set a target for when you want to become world champion? Any particular time or?
Listen, I didn't think I'd make it to where I am now, let alone.
Yeah.
So it could be in the next few fights. Could be in the next 6 years. I mean, when you look at Kell Brook, you think he turned pro at 18 and won his world title when he was 28. That's including his massive amateur pedigree. So it's hard to not put a time frame on it. I mean, really, I could have done with so many more learning fights like the Americans do. They build up their records. Not necessarily to pad them out. I wouldn't say they pad their records, but they get as many learning fights as they can, so that when the fights do happen, the big fights do happen, they cannot be more ready.
Yeah. So how do you view Adrian Granados? Would you say he's your toughest fight yet, or kind of just a stepping stone in your way to the top?
Well, he's definitely a stepping stone on my way to the top, but so is Vargas and Formella. But he's definitely a better test. I mean, he keeps talking about how, I've been in with the best. I've been in with this, but I've been in with this top boy. You're in with another top boy. Do you know what I mean? When Vargas said, I've been in with Amir Khan and Virgil Ortiz, etc., etc. I'm like, well, that's your fault that's your mistake for not putting me up there where I know I am. So same with Formella, when he said, I've been tested at a higher level. Fine, so be it. But, if you want to find out the hard way, you find out the hard way.
Yeah, and one last one from me. So, obviously, the last fight was over very early. Are you prepared to go to the distance, or are you not willing to let that happen and try and end it early?
Of course I'm prepared to go to the distance. I think, do you know what? The rounds are so important. As much as it's nice to get a first round knockout, the rounds are so important. You need rounds. So, funny enough, I was disappointed that the Vargas fight went one round. Just because there's still question marks. Although I beat Formella convincingly, you still have to answer certain times throughout a fight. So to progress my career, I definitely want to get some rounds in.
Cheers, Conor. All the best.
So.
Thanks, Ben. Here we go to Jonathan Nagyoff from Pro Boxing Fans.
So I was on mute. How you doing, Conor? You right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You good?
Yeah, very well, thanks. You said sort of in the pre-fight comments to Matchroom that you don't have to be here and that you have everything to lose going into these fights. Can you just talk a bit more about that, and what message would you have to young fighters coming through?
You don't have to come from nothing to be a fighter. Sorry, let me elaborate. You don't have to come from nothing to be successful. You ain't got to get it out the mud. You ain't got to come from the ends. You can do any sphere, any walk of life you're in, culturally as well, whatever culture you're in. Do you know what I mean? Because some cultures don't box. You can be anything you want to be if you set your mind to it. I don't come from nothing. But when you look at me and you look at the way I fight, you think I come from nothing, as they say. But the reality is, do you really come from nothing? When you sit down and ask them, okay, did you really come from nothing? What's nothing to you? Because there's people out there in the world who are starving. There's people out there in the world who can't drink no water. There's kids out there. So when you talk nothing, there's always someone who has nothing more than you. Do you know what I mean? So you can achieve anything you want to achieve. I haven't got to be here. I haven't got to do this, but it's a passion that burns inside. When you see my outrage bursts after the fight, it's because there's passion there. It's because I want to win. It's because I love winning, So that's what I mean by that. You ain't got to come from nothing to be a bad boy fighter. Not at all.
And just one more from me. I know you're out in the US with Martin J. Ward before his fight. My question is, how well were you received out there? How much validation does it give you when people are saying that you're going to be up there with Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, and you have Sean Porter saying that you could be the best UK prospect. How much validation is that for all the hard work you're doing in training camp?
Listen, it's flattering, but you can create the hype, but just don't believe it. Do you know what I mean? You see, and it's mad because you've got to try and keep level grounded with it. Otherwise, you can just run away with it. But there's a long way left to go, a lot left to do, a lot left to achieve. Let people call you what they want. At the end of the day, I know my end goal and I know what I'll be content with, and where I'm at now isn't that place.
Best of luck, Conor, Saturday. Cheers.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Jonathan. If we go to Andy from Boxing Social next, please.
Conor, how you doing?
Yeah, Andy, what's happening, mate?
Not much, mate. Just obviously, I just want to pick up on something you answered earlier about your route towards world titles, Conor. Obviously, there's a huge clamour for people to see you out as quickly and as often as possible, and we've seen obviously on the back of the Sammy Vargas win, a devastating first round stoppage. It's just kind of even more pressure from the fans to see you accelerated almost with your career. Do you feel like there's too much pressure being applied to push you from others outside of your team?
I mean, come on, man. I mean, when it comes down to pressure, I mean, you're talking to the king of pressure. You know, you're talking to a kid who walked out to 20,000 at the O2 Arena with a handful of amateur fights. You know, so when and then people going, oh yeah, we want him in with Kell Brook, you know, after my second fight. So yeah, and look at when you go, yeah, like, all right, mate. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Let people think that what they want. Let people say what they want. At the end of the day, ain't no pressure on me. I trust my team, and I trust the process. I don't have to understand the process, but I trust the process. So that answers that.
Conor, what type of statement do you feel a victory against Adrian Granados will send out to the rest of the competitors at the 147 division?
I don't think there's. I don't look at it like that. The division know anyway. You know, the division know what time it is. I mean, I just got to go in there and perform and do what I do. I don't worry about making a statement. I've just got to go out there and look good and win.
Obviously, we've seen Eddie say he wants to start crossing over the American boxers coming to the UK, more UK going over to America. Beyond Granados, is that something which you think could be in the pipeline for yourself, making your American debut?
American debut? I fought in New York.
Oh, right, yeah, blimey, my bad.
No, so I'm not. I see where you're at now. You're not really a Ben fan, are you?
Well, is it something else you are looking forward to getting back out to America?
I don't even want to do any more interviews with you, Andy. I thought you were a fan, and you don't even know my career, bro. What's going on here?
I completely forgot, mate. Sorry.
I could tell. As far as going to the States, that's no problem. I mean, I offered. Well, not I offered. I said to Eddie, I'll fight Vargas in Canada. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, a fight's a fight. Win, lose, or draw, a fight's a fight. Irrelevant of the location, irrelevant of where you are, what you're doing, who you're with. You know, when you're in there, you know, it's the rings and that's it.
All right, Conor, that's it from me. So good luck on Saturday.
Thank you, mate. Will you be tuning in?
I will be tuning in, mate.
Oh, all right. Just making sure.
Just please don't lose me any more money. See you later, mate.
Go on, sit down.
Thanks, Andy. If we go to Jeremy Herridges next, please.
Hi, Conor. Thank you for taking the time. In your last fight against Samuel Vargas, obviously you got out to a very hot start. Was that something that you planned on, or did you see something that kind of made you want to engage that fast?
Yeah, I see him. I hit him, obviously. I hit him, and his nose bled up straight away, and his nose started bleeding. He had a mark straight under his eye, and that was with I think 2 or 3 straight 1-2s that I threw, and then I come round the side. I hit him with a jab and then a hook round the side, right hook, or a crooked right hand, and I see his leg buckle, and I thought, nah, mate, I'm on you. You know, you see so many fighters not take these opportunities when they see them. You got to get them out of there.
even though it was a first round stoppage, the fact that you had that instinct where you saw something that made you react shows to me that there's a level of growth and that you're learning even from a run round fight. Would you say that that's accurate, and that even in that situation, there's still something to take away from it?
I never looked at it like that, but thank you, Jeremy. Because it's I never thought of it like that, but you are right. Fighter's instinct. You could say there's a level of maturity there in terms of the sport and learning. Also, the accuracy as well was something that we worked on massively. Whereas the formula, I got quite excited and missed quite a few shots. Whereas I managed to stay composed, place my shots with Vargas.
Adrian Granados only been stopped one time in his 8 losses, had a lot of close calls there. Does that mean something as far as being the next person to stop him, or being the second person to stop him? Is there any added goal there as far as stopping him?
It would be nice, but I'm prepared for 12 hard rounds.
Got it. Thank you so much, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Next TV, please. Ames, you there, mate?
Yeah, sorry. Ames here for Boxing News TV. Conor, how you doing? You all right?
I'm good, mate. You good?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Conor, just a couple of questions from me. I think I saw Adrian Granados in the recent videos. I think it was on Matchroom's channel. He called you England's new golden boy. So I'm thinking maybe that might be the view, maybe overseas, as you being one of the shining stars over here. Do you see yourself as that?
No, I don't. But then again, as you just said that, I see someone taking a picture of my plate and driving off. Do you know what, man? No, I don't, man. It's just, I don't know. To be honest, I don't see myself that way. I see myself as a husband, as a father, as a grandson, as a person. You know, I don't see myself as the future of British boxing or the glitz and glam that, you know, everyone be calling me, because at the end of the day, say I lose my next 3 fights, what, am I finished? That's what people are going to say. So you got to learn to take what people say with a pinch of salt. As again, yes, it is flattering, but no, I don't. No.
I think you could be forgiven for kind of seeing yourself as that sort of thing in a way, but you there in your response, it seems like you're keeping your feet firmly on the ground. What is it about you that makes you do that? And are there people around you that also do that for you as well?
I don't know, to be honest, mate. I think it's just the way I am. I don't see myself any different from the geezer sitting next to me or filling up his car next to me in a petrol station. At the end of the day, I've got 2 arms, 2 legs. I've got soul, I've got spirit, and you know, so does everyone else. So, am I talented at what I do? I am, but that doesn't mean that I'm all out in a bag of chips. You know, I won't ever get carried away like that. I just don't think it's in my makeup. So no, it is what it is. I think it's just the way I am. I think it's the way my parents instilled in me. You think my dad's 2-time world champion. He used to take me Salvation Army to get my clothes. I didn't know about designer. He kept my feet firmly on the ground, as well as giving me a luxury life, which I think is hard to do. So credit to my parents, but they've never raised me that way. My dad used to work in charity shops. So I think it's just me observing from young has made me the way I am.
Appreciate the response. All the best at the weekend. Thank you, Conor.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ames. If we go to Charlie Parsons next, please.
You're right, Conor, mate. Thank you for coming on and doing this.
Pleasure.
This is Charlie Parsons, Blue Moon Boxing. First thing I'd like to say is convincing points performance against Formella and in the stoppage against Vargas. Does that prove to everyone how versatile you are and how good that you've become?
I don't know what's going on here. Dan, have you set me up? Because everyone's trying to gas me up on it. Like, I'm a bit confused. I think so, mate. I mean, Formella, who thought I'd outbox the boxer, eh? I mean, the problem is we don't know how good I'm going to be. So we test the waters. And every time that the waters get tested, I'm flying. So Vargas again, demolition job. So I'd like to think so. I'd like to think people, know that I can do it all. I'm not just a fighter; I can box as well. So, in a few more fights, time will tell. And in a few more fights, people will see what I'm made of.
You mentioned earlier that you have to keep yourself grounded and that there is hype around you. We know that. We hear what Eddie Hearn says about you. He says how that you're the next UK star. How difficult is it to not get carried away with it all? Like you said just now, there was a guy taking a picture of your number plate and driving off. When you see bits like that on a day-to-day, is it almost like you have to say to yourself, hold on a second, I'm me? Or do you just not get carried away with it?
No, I told my missus, I was pulled up to the petrol station at around 8 in the morning. I had about 7, 8 people come and ask to have pictures with me. Yeah, so different variations of people as well, not just boxing people.
Yeah.
From women to men to kids to. So it's it really is flattering, but I'll never see myself that way. I'll never see myself that way, and it's quite funny because I called her up and I went, babe, I think, do you think I'm a celebrity or something? Like, I must be, surely. Like, do you think I'm a celebrity? Because I just can't. I just don't see it.
But do you not notice that when you go on Instagram and you see the blue tick and the followers and the
because that to me isn't status. Social media isn't status at all. Because at the end of the day, without social media, I walk on road and I still get recognised. But whereas social media, loads of people have blue ticks, loads of people have loads of followers, influencers. So it saturates actually being a celebrity down. Because I wouldn't go and ask someone who's got 1.2 million followers, say, for a picture for the sake of their 1.2 million followers. So when people come up to me on road, I'm thinking, I'm doing something right here. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing something right. And it's flattering more so, but I never have to keep grounded. I never have to go, Conor, keep yourself grounded, because it's just not who I am. It's just not in my makeup. I live in a village. With my dog, my wife, my baby. We go to church on Sundays. I speak with my mum and dad all the time. Don't get me wrong, I'm far from perfect. Made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I'm just a normal human being who has the same battles as you and you. So I'll never see myself any better, or it's flattering. That's all it is it makes me laugh a little bit. 'Cause it's like, fucking people really knew what I was like. Want a picture with me, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just one more from me, because I know there's quite a few people in here. But not only does DAZN look and say to be changing the way that British boxing is going to be viewed, but the first main event on a DAZN show, is that a surreal feeling in itself? The fact that we've got a new platform in the UK, something that, there was a lot of talk about, a lot of speculation whether they'd be staying on with Sky Sports, if they'd be going to DAZN. They've gone to DAZN. It's a game-breaking thing. Your first main event, how does that feel?
It's a blessing. I mean, I believe God opens doors. Opens doors no man can open, and shuts the doors no man can close. So, he opened the door and I walked right through it, like I have my career.
Cool. Perfect, bruv. All the best Saturday night, and thank you for your time.
Cheers, Johnny.
Thank you, Joey. If it goes to Joel Green next, please.
Sorry, the mute button beat me on that one. You all right, Conor? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You good?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just wanted to say, really, being a dad, surely that's been the ultimate blessing for your career, to give you that extra drive and hunger to sort of push you further.
No,
Okay.
It hasn't. It hasn't. I mean, see, my dad, he was my dad. My dad first, before anything else, to me. So him being Nigel Benn, 2-time world champion, Hall of Famer, was irrelevant. He was my dad. And it was how he is as a dad, who he is as a man, what I see from a baby growing up. And I just want to be a good dad, make good decisions. He's changed me as a man in the life I live, who I am, what I do, what I stand for, what I represent, what I do, what I don't do. He made me more think about things like that, rather than rather than boxing. Because at the end of the day, I'm self-driven. I'm very motivated. I don't need my son to help me get up out of bed at 3 a.m. and run. I don't box to put food on the table. I don't fight to put food on the table for Eli. I do that for myself. Anything I choose to have done, I would have provided anyway. I haven't got to fight for that. Do you know what I mean? So.
No, definitely. Whereas, you know, like you mentioned there, you were saying about your dad, who's obviously been the inspiring man in your life. Does he still talk to you a lot in regards to giving you pointers when you get an opponent chosen, or how's it work with your dad?
My dad's just my dad.
Yeah.
He don't really say much apart from, yeah, son, don't let him get into his rhythm. When you get him, pounce on him. You know, and that's it. That's my dad. You know, when you see him pounce him, and that's just my dad. He's old school. Go in there, let him know about it, set the tone. And that's just the way my dad is. So, but my dad again helps me more in where it really matters, and that's life.
Yeah, and as I say, I bet he was well chuffed in your last fight when you literally jumped the guy and had him out within seconds, because we were buzzing in this house, mate.
Yeah, well, he called me up. I called him up, and I've gone, yeah, Dad. I don't. Yeah, I pounced on him, mate.
No, Conor, thank you very much, and
Pleasure.
appreciate your time.
Pleasure, mate.
Okay, we go to Joe from SecondsOut next, please.
Hi, Conor, you right?
What's happening, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. So I know you just spoken to Charlie about, he said you're the first main event on the Zone, on Fight Camp.
Yeah.
It's obviously another world title. It's not for the Super WBA belt, but it's still a world title. Why do you think that your main event? Maybe this is a chance to sort of blow your own trumpet.
What do you mean?
Like, why do you think your main event ahead of a world title fight?
I've got you. I just think there's more of a demand to see me fight. No discrediting any world champions out there. I think that's it. That's just it. There's people want, my viewing numbers are, heavyweight numbers. So people want to tune in to see me fight. And I think that's what it comes down to. Where the viewing figures are at.
And how much do you think a step up Granados is from Vargas on April the 10th? They're both. Pardon?
He's definitely a step up. He's not more cute. He's a tough opponent. You got to remember, every fight at this level now is hard work. So you prepare for hard work. You prepare for a hard 12 rounds. If it goes any sooner, then lovely.
What do you think Granados has done better to Vargas in his career?
I don't know. I haven't really studied much on Vargas. I know he's fell short a few times. When I mean short, I mean really short. The fight of Adrian Brunner, I believe he won. Robert Easter, Sean Porter. I mean, you're talking the best fighters of our era. So he's been in there with all them and just fell short of a few.
And lastly, have you seen the video Eddie posted? I think it was called the Undefeated Podcast, and they're like doing an impression of you at the corner shot. Have you
yeah, I see it.
What do you think of it?
Do you know what? I'm just that guy, and I'm just intense, and I can't help it. Like, I was ordering food the other day, and my missus has gone, are you right there, Franny? And then the woman's walked off, and then she's come back, and I've gone, was I frowning? I'm so sorry. She's gone, yeah, it's just a little bit. I've gone, I'm so sorry. I've eaten now. But you just don't. I'm just a moody geezer, apparently.
Did you ask for the change?
Of course I did.
Love that. Well, good luck on Saturday, and yeah, nice one.
Thank you.
Okay, and lastly, if we go to Chris Ridgway, please.
Hey, Conor, you okay?
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Just a quick one. We were with Campbell Hatton the other day, and he was saying that he's been speaking to you a lot about advice you've given him. You're one of the few fighters that have shared the same path as that he's starting, if you like. Just wondering if you could open up a little bit on your relationship with Campbell and how you've seen his career start.
Well, funny enough, his dad's career was the first fight I ever went to. his last fight. It's the first fight I've ever went to, and it was incredible. So ever since then, I've been a massive Ricky Hatton fan. I mean, I believe he was the last fighter of that sort of era, so to speak. So then seeing Campbell come on and turn pro, it was like he don't know what he's in for.
Yeah.
It's in terms of, because I didn't have a clue. I didn't know it'd be the way it is, but it is the way it is. And it's more so people. I wouldn't say it's any career advice I've given him or any career or boxing advice. It's more so dealing with the pressure, dealing with the hype, dealing with all them sort of things, if you know what I mean.
Do you think that's the way you've progressed more over the last couple of years, rather than boxing skill set? I mean, obviously that's improved. That's why you train, etc. But do you think that's where you've developed the most because you've had to grow through that where Campbell is now?
Yeah, it makes you tougher mentally. It makes you more cold-blooded, so to speak, as in, like, just makes you an angry person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll come through it. You just gotta be mentally tough. You don't let it break you. Do you know what I mean? Because when you've had bad performances, or if Campbell has bad performances, it's the end of the world. It's who cares, man? Use it as a learning curve. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? Because you're never as good as you are when they say when you're winning, and you're never as bad as they say when you lose.
Yeah, no, fair point. Just moving on from that, I wanted to pick up on a tweet the Zone put out this week, where they said, "Who's the best welterweight under 25?" I'm just going to pull the names up there. They've got Jerome Ennis, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Jesus Ramos, and then yourself. How does it make you feel being? And I know this is fairly similar, if you like, to some of the questions you've heard today. But you're being put on that pedestal by big broadcaster in the Zone, and they're putting you in that mix.
I don't think it's the broadcaster. I think it's the people.
How do you mean?
You know, I think, because you got the broadcasters who are trying to sell it, and then you got the people who genuinely believe it. So I think it's more so the people. I think after the Vargas fight, you get like Ugas come up to me, you know, Gambart, all these fighters know who I am over there stateside now. So, and over there, and here, you know, you're rated. So it's to be expected.
Okay, well, listen, that's it for me. All the best for Saturday night, Conor. Good to speak to you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.